All right. Good evening once again, everyone. I welcome you all to Digital Z Hub. All right. We have been on analyzing data with, can I refer to them as the functions we have used so far as intermediates, Excel statistical aggregate functions. We have been learning how we can perform exploratory analysis, how we can deploy these conditional statistical functions on a given data sets, just like the one I have on the screen, and be able to draw meaningful insights that could influence our smart decision making. So far, so good. We have covered the sum if, which is basically for a single criteria exploratory analysis. We have also used the count if, which is also a single criteria exploratory analysis function. And then, of course, we also looked at average if. And I told us that in our next section, which is this one, our focus shall be on this same set of functions, but we are going to extend the analysis question to more than one. So which means that we are looking at how to perform exploratory analysis where multiple criteria are needed. But before that, I'm going to show us a logic that sometime they might ask you to build an app that could help you to perform a particular analysis using the sum if or the count if, and even the average if. Take for instance, the analysis we did last time was categorical analysis or comparison analysis, because if I could remember, we have to list out the unique variables and then aggregate numerical values against them. So which means that at the end of your analysis, just like what Mr. Ambrose presented, you could see that he was able to identify the trend, the one that is performing better, by comparing it with the other unique variable. But we are looking at a situation whereby you have a single cell. It's an app actually that you can develop. You have a single cell, probably, let's say in our analysis insight sheet, we have a single cell that once an input comes in here, and then it will perform that analysis. So in other words, we are using one cell to perform various analysis. So let's me engineer the question. So tonight I'm using a different data set, which is still sales inventory. So for that reason, I need to quickly glance through the data for us to understand it together as one of the principles. So this data set is Amazon sales inventory, comprising of the following headers: the region, the country, the item type, which represents the product category. And then we have different sales channels, under which we have the offline, the online. Now we have order of priority, and the order of priority are categorical data, as you can see. we have H, we have C, and the rest. Then we have order of dates. That is what order dates. And then we have the order ID. We have ship date. We have unit sold. We have unit costs, unit price. We have total revenue. We have total costs. And then the last feature is total profit. So let's assume that we want to develop an app that once the company imputes any item type in that particular cell, it will analyze the total profit generated for that particular product. That is the app that we want to develop. So this is a very good app that you can pre-program depending on when this kind of question will be probably put on you. Because as an expert, what you do is that you should have observed your company activity for a period of time. The nature of questions you are usually asked, so that you can go ahead of them and program system like this to be able to cater for that. So like I said, I just want to communicate the app. The app is that we want to program a function in a particular cell such that once any of this item type is imputed, it will automatically give us the total profit generated from that particular product. So in other words, we can use that cell to analyze for each of these items. So we don't have to list them like the way we listed them the other time. So that is the app. So let me go to the analysis dashboard and state the question. So let me merge this, or let's say the analysis question is, let's say Q1. Q1 is, let me merge the whole of these cells together. Now, the task is develop an analysis app that can analyze total profits for any of the item type. For any of the item type. So that is the analysis task. All right, so let's make it more visible by increasing the size. And then let me give it this color so that we can see it better. So the first thing is for me to design the user interface of the app. So here, let me just label here input. So this is where the input will come in. So let me just label it so that we know the particular cell. So input, that is coming here. So I will just add border to this particular two cells. And how do I achieve that? Select across the two cells and then go to your home tab. Then go to border and shading. Then select the outside border. I just want to make those two cells visible. Now, I'll label here total profit. Total profit. Okay, so I can also decide to fill that with maybe a background color just to be able to differentiate it. So this is the user interface. So the idea is that I have already observed my boss. Let's assume that after some time, you have observed him or her that he or she normally asks you, what is the total profit generated for a particular product? You know, when you are asked that kind of question, instead of you going to listing all the unique variable, you start what we did last time. I consider that to be a kind of a wasting of time. So for you to be able to answer such question promptly, you can use this system. So what I'm going to do, this is where I am writing the function. I want you to take note of it. This is where you are writing the function. Now, we will reference this empty cell because at the moment, we don't even know the product or the item type that we come into that cell. So we just reference it. In other words, that cell will be waiting for a value. Once it gets a value, it will automatically analyze the total profit. So equals to, it could be count. You can build it for counting in order to answer counting question. You can also build it for average. Well, let me just build this one for summation. Let's say we want to summarize the total profit per any of the item entered here. So as usual, is a conditional summation. For that reason, I'm going to use the sum if. And then of course, from the last class, I will specify the range. Now, the range is the cell in your data, the cells in your data source that consists the criteria for the summary. So which means that since it's item type, we are to impute here to analyze total profit. So it means I have to switch to my data and capture the whole of this column and then add my comma. Then the criteria should be one of the value in this particular range selected. But we are programming it in a way that any of this value will be entered in a cell. So which means that it is that particular cell we have to reference. So I will switch to my analysis insight and pick that cell. So which means that once any of those value that you selected comes in here, it will analyze the profit. So I put a comma, then I need to capture the range where I have the various profits entered. So I have to go back to the data set and capture everything I have under the total profit. So I'm selecting the alphabet in order to create room for future entry, which I've explained in our last section. So I'll just press enter. So currently is outputting 0 because you have not imputed any value here. So let's try it. And I'm also going to show us a logic. I don't want to type manually. I don't want to type. For example, I want to analyze for baby food. I want to know the total profit generated from this particular product sold. Now, and I don't want to go there and type it because if I'm to go there and type it, I must follow the case, which means that the B must start with capital letter. That space in between them must exist. So I'm considering that as a challenge that I may make mistake, type the F in small letter, I end up not generating the expected output. So to avoid things like this, there's a logic you will use to invoke this value while you are in the other sheet. This is what you do. Just put your cursor here and then type equal sign and then go back to where you want to call the value from. So once I click here and I press enter, you see what happened? it automatically what? Call the value. So it saves me from typing it. And I've also gotten the word, the total profit generated from this particular product. So you can see as fast as it is. So if I'm asked again, okay, can you do for Siri? So all I will do is just to clear this and then click inside it again and then go back to the data set, then call Siri. Sorry, I ought to have typed equals sign here. So there must be equals to or equal sign, and then before you go for the calling of the value. So you can see any value you input there, it automatically analyze the total profit. We can do it for counting. In other words, you can copy it, Control C, depend on how you want to be creative or the kind of question you feel that you'll be asked. So if you also feel that they will also ask you questions how to do with, okay, what is the total number of transactions made per any of this item? So which means that the function here will change. We change from sum if to what? To count if. To change to count if. And then the range is still the entire what? Item type range column, comma. Then the criteria is still what? This particular cell. And then the range of the value. In fact, since it's counting, it's just two arguments we need to reference. So if I press enter, you see that I have 7 of them. So if I bring in another product now, let's say I want to analyze for another product, the same logic, just insert your equal sign, go back to the data, then pick that product the company wants to know the total number of, so it analyzes it for you sharply. So any questions? So this is additional logic that I wanted to show us before we look at the focus tonight. But let me allow you to ask questions if you have anyone for what I've done so far. No question, Mr.
Excuse me, it's quite interesting. That's fine. But is there no way we can have all the inputs and total profits in listed down instead of, you know what I mean? Like if you look at the first one for some if for cereal, then you go down the next one, you can put another baby food there, just like that, roll completely down so that at least one can have it listed.
Here, right? Within this
Yes.
yes, it's very possible. You know, I just wanted us to understand that logic. Actually, you can copy them and list them somewhere where each time you want to analyze, you just from there call it, or you manually type it. So you can actually list them somewhere within this same sheet so that you don't have to go back to the data set.
No, what I mean is having like, as we have cereal and its profits by the side, total profit by the side, just below it, we have another one and its profits. And no, as you're analyzing all of them, just completely analyze all of them down instead of having
That
calling them one after the
yes, that is a class. That is what we did last time now.
yes. With this same formula, that is what I mean.
You don't need this. That is what you have done because you listed all of them and you have already aggregated their profits against them. So you will not need this particular method. This method is where you want to be getting it per one as soon as the question
Okay.
come in. Do you understand it?
Yes, I understand. I understand.
Okay. So the only thing you can do, the only thing you can do is that you can create a drop down. I think let me show us how that one work. You can create a drop.
Aha.
You can create a drop down in a way that once you drop it, you pick any one, it will analyze it. You pick another one, it will analyze it. So that is instead of you typing it manually. So let me just show
Yeah.
us how to do that. So let's say I'm going to use it for average or any of them. So paste. So let me delete this function. Okay, so the only thing we are working on is just this. So what we actually want to achieve is that all the unique value, we want to have their drop down here. So once we pick anyone, it will just give us what? The total profit. So what you do is this: you will apply a function called data validation. So I'm going to talk about it under VLOOKUP, under lookup functions before. But because you have asked, let me see how I can relate it here. Now, the validation means that you want to limit users from entering value manually in that cell. That is why you are giving them the values that they ought to type. So there is no need for them to type because you are only considering that if you give them room to type, they might have typographical error as one of the reasons why I was invoking the values from the other sheet. So you can provide all those unique item type in a drop down. So how do we achieve that? You click on where the particular cell where you want to have the drop down, and then you go to data tab. Then from here you come to data validation. So once you click on this command, it's going to prompt you a dialog box like this. From here you now come to allow. What do you want to allow? I want to allow value that are listed what? Vertically. That is list. So once you have done that, you now come to where you have source to go and select the range of the values you want to capture in the drop down. So once your cursor is blinking here, you can even click here, it will disappear, and then you go back to the data set, and then I will capture everything I have here like this, and then click on that same icon, then it will have called the range. Then you click OK. So you can see that currently what you are analyzing, sorry, this is drop down. So if I pick anyone here, you see that it analyzes it. If I pick any other one, it analyzes it. If I pick anyone, and I think this is what you were asking. This one makes it faster, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So perfect.
Okay.
All right. So can we proceed, or I should give you guys 5 minutes to try? I know there are some of us that want to try. Like students,
Yeah, I would like to try.
please try. Let me give you for 6 minutes, 6 minutes, because sometimes you have to be trying some of these things. Don't wait until.
But we have to have the data
Okay, you don't have
set.
it.
No, you didn't send it.
Okay. Let me send it. But you can be trying it with. You can be trying it with the one we have, the one I've given you before. You can be trying it with that one. Are you with me?
Okay.
And you can relate the question to any of those ones. So meanwhile, let me try and
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So why not send the data so that we'll be in the same lane with you
Yes,
now?
I'm sending it now. But while I'm doing that, you can start doing something. I'm sending it now. I'm sending it.
Okay.